let this song die out a little bit. Today's topic.
That's Mika Meeks. Mika. Dwayne Wade. Is it real or is it fake? What do you think, Peasy?
I have no idea.
It's not real? It's not fake, Peasy? Which one is it?
It's a hot record.
All right, Peasy, is a hot record?
Yeah, it's a hot record.
What's up, everybody? We are here today live. DNAradio.net. The Doc Peasy Show. November 24th, 2017. A little bit of history here. But we're going to start off with, as soon as we possibly can with everything that we need to do. The disclaimer, we'll take care of that a little later. Now, let's start off with our topics today. I first want to say happy birthday to my nephew, Solly. I want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And I want to say happy Black Friday shopping for all you shoppers out there that are listening to us on your cell phone. Okay? And also I want to give a shout out to the Cassidy family. David Cassidy. Yeah, I heard him. Yeah, David Cassidy. You know, that's back in the 70s. I'm not dating myself, but back in the 70s, I was a latchkey kid, and I used to listen and watch what they call the Partridge Family. Excellent sitcom about a musical family that happened to be a band that lived in basic American status style house and neighborhood, middle class neighborhood, and they basically lived their lives as artists and had to go to school and had to do all the things that parents had to do or a single parent had to do and what kids had to do with a little bit of fame. So shout out to David Cassidy. He passed away, I think, about 3 or 4 days ago. I think he was 67 years old, and he died of Alzheimer's. And a lot of people are dying of Alzheimer's. And I just wanted to give just a small piece of insight of how incredible and how crazy and diabolical this disease is. If you can think of your brain as a melon and you slice it in half, and at the bottom of the melon, at the bottom middle of the melon, there's your short-term thinking. There's the piece of your brain that deals with short-term thinking. And what happens is, believe it or not, if you get an infection, right, your brain kind of builds up a plaque, and this plaque protects your brain from being infected. But the residual effects of that is that plaque grows like rust, and it starts to eat away at the thinking parts of your brain. They call it the hippocampus. And once that starts eating away, it starts with the short-term memory first. Now, your short-term memory is like, what did I do today? You couldn't remember that. That's your short-term memory. So it starts eating at that first. So, for instance, short-term memory is like, where did I put my keys? So then you have this plaque, the same kind of plaque that you have in your mouth is in your brain, but the body makes it. Then the body builds it so that it can protect you from any type of infection to the brain. But like I said, there's a residual effect, which this plaque starts eating at your brain, and it takes it over, and basically it stops you from the ability to think, to ambulate, which means to move around, to talk, to speak, and everything else. But it's a sad disease, and I hope one day that we find some type of cure for it. So rest in peace, David Cassidy. And, you know, he had a big influence on hip-hop. Yeah, he did. He had a huge influence on hip-hop. Yeah, he had a huge influence. If you guys can remember, in 1991, there was a rap group. There's still a rap group, and they're still active. They're called Nice and Smooth. One of their biggest hits, sampled a song from the Partridge Family. And it kind of went like ba 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 ba. I mean, I'm not a singer, but you sure ain't. But that sample was so hot in '91 that had to be one of the top 10 hip hop songs, at least on the East Coast, by Nice and Smooth. I just can't remember the name of the song, but it was such a hot song. But that intro beat came from the Partridge Family and from the band that David Cassidy played for. He also has a famous brother too, Sean Cassidy, who played in the Hardy Boys, a detective story, if you guys remember that back in the day. So today's topic is going to be, you're not going to believe this, and I'm almost embarrassed to discuss it, but it's going to be about LeVar Ball versus Donald Trump. Two similar personalities. Two personalities that they don't back down and they're never wrong. And it's just so cynical and so crazy to me on both sides. Okay, for all those that have fathers, or you're an uncle, or you provide for a young person, or you're a role model for a young person. Okay, for all those, this is what this is for. Now, LeVar Ball, I'll go back a little bit, he used to be a professional basketball player, and he has like 3 sons that are like outstanding basketball players. And the oldest son plays for the Lakers, and he's pretty good. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he is pretty good.
He started off slow, and but he's starting to really come into himself now. He's like, I think he already has a couple of triple doubles and things of that nature. But anyway, LeVar Ball has these 3 sons. One of the sons is a LA Laker. Another son plays basketball, or used to play basketball, for UCLA. Famous basketball team. Now, the last time I was here, I spoke about UCLA and the history. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played there. His original name was Lou Alcindor for the older ones. Shout out Dykeman, New York, up in that area. Dykeman 207, 202 up in that area. But shout out Dykeman, and shout out the Dykeman tournaments in basketball. They play some serious basketball out there in the summer. But anyway, going back to UCLA, they went out to go. They were in some type of tournament. They were playing out in China, and I forget the name of the team that they were playing, but it was a U.S. American team. And so the young individual, the son, I'm not going to say his name because I think it's been pushed out so much, and I'm not going to exploit him. But the son and his 2 teammates were out shoplifting 3 or 4 different stores. And it's not even allegedly, because now they've admitted to it, so it's not alleged anymore.
Damn, thieves!
Yeah, pretty much, Peasy.
Do not steal, the 8th Amendment.
Yeah, what'd you say? The 8th commandment? Don't you mean that?
Yeah, I understand the amendment.
Yeah, you mean the commandment. So they were out shoplifting, a bunch of young black dudes. I don't think they're older than 22, 23. They might be between 19 and 23. And they got caught. And as you know, China is always in competition with us. So they ran with this and exploited these 3 young men and put this out internationally, all over the world.
Even Mars?
No, not Mars. Mars is a galaxy, man. That has nothing to do with the world. So he the president or the press in China, they put these kids through a lot. Don't get me wrong, they did steal. They deserved everything that they had gotten, but they are still young and they can change. And I think that was peer pressure, a lot of peer pressure. And maybe a lot of boredom too. They probably had some downtime, and that's why you need mentors around these kids. And all you coaches that coach AAU, I shout out all of you and thank you for your commitment to our young girls and boys, because these 3 individuals, most likely, 99% of the NBA, they played AAU basketball. So they were detained, and what I understand, they were not in a prison. They were held in a hotel under security. They couldn't leave the hotel until the China government wanted to figure out how they wanted to discipline these 3 individuals. Now, at the same time, simultaneously, the president was making his Asia tour, and he just happened a day or two or a day after or maybe a couple of days in happened to be in China, and he was informed about this incident. So he took a step and spoke to the president of China, and I guess convinced him to let the boys go, or the young men go. And I think maybe maybe a day or two, they were released and they flew back home. So the boys were suspended from the basketball team. I'm not sure if they were suspended from UCLA, but they were suspended from the basketball team. And from there, there was a press conference, and the three young men, which I said had to be very brave to go up and admit their guilt and be very apologetic, be humble, and be remorseful. And they also thanked Donald Trump. And I'll say President Trump. I'll give him that respect, President Trump. And so they did do that, and so things seem to be okay. So now President Trump, now this is when I'm going to convert from President Trump to just Donald.
Yeah, I call him Donald.
Why?
We got a lot in common.
What do you mean? Because you a dummy?
What? I ain't no dummy. I'm a marionette. That's French for dog.
Okay, fine. All right, you're a marionette. But so you say you and Donald can talk one-on-one because y'all know each other and y'all cool.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever, Peasy. You just is you hallucinate just like he's just as delusional as the president, huh?
No, I'm telling you the truth.
Okay, have him call up on the radio station. Our ratings are sky. It will go skyrocket if he calls up.
Just wait.
Okay, so Donald Trump, I guess he's back in America, or he's still over there, and I think it's a day or two. He comes right after the young men come, and he starts complaining that the father, LeVar Ball, has not paid any homage or thanked him for what he had done. So LeVar Ball, who I think also has some type of, low self-esteem or personality disorder, because he, instead of him being humble and saying, you know what, I want to thank the president for not only getting my son released, but the two other boys that were released, because it not only affected me, it affected their families too, or my family and their families too, just to be grateful and acknowledge what the president did. So now they go back and forth in some type of Twitter war.
The president needs to stay off the Twitter.
Yeah, you're right. He does. He really does. He really does. He needs to stay off. That's
It's for a 9-year-old.
Yeah, but that's your boy though, right?
No, I ain't my boy. I'm just saying I can talk to Donald when I want.
Fine. Okay. So there's a Twitter war back and forth, and then LeVar Ball actually is a guest on CNN News, and he gets on there. Oh my gosh. And this is where I'm saying that's why you cannot conquer ignorance with ignorance. He gets on there and says he's not going to say thank you. He doesn't even know if Donald Trump had any influence on getting these boys released, and so on and so on. He's trying to sell his brand. So he sells these $500 sneakers, which I'm not hating his hustle. I understand that was free promotion for him and everything. But I mean, come on. We as black people in this America, we don't need to act as ignorant as Donald Trump is acting. We really don't. And that was a perfect time for him to kind of counter it with intellect and gracefulness. That's one thing about President Obama that I like. You never saw him step out of his skin. Like, he always understood that he was black and he had to take things on a different approach, and he had to do it in a formal manner. And he almost had to be chastised and belittled because he did. But now you see how much we appreciate President Obama for everything that he's done for us and for America in general. It's just not a black thing, for everybody in general. So in saying that, so Trump goes back and continues to have this really ugly Twitter war and media war.
These lights are hot, aren't they?
Yeah, they hot, man. They burning my lips. But they good. They good. The lights are good. We doing what we got to do. So Trump. So he feeds right into Trump. So Trump now starts to insult him and calls him a broke Don King. Now, if you guys know anything about the sport of professional boxing, Don King is a very animated promoter, and he has a fixture in boxing. If you know anything about boxing, you know who Don King is. He wears the big long hair. He looks like I don't know. He just looks crazy. But he's always wearing the American flag, which is draped around him. He's always saying these rhymes and just off the wall stuff. And so, but what's crazy is that he's a Trump supporter. He's a big time Trump supporter. So Trump referenced him as LeVar Ball as a broke Trump. I mean, as a broke Don King. So it's back and forth, and it's ridiculous, and it makes no sense to me at all. You know, I'm a father of 5. All of my sons played basketball. One son has played AAU basketball and high school basketball and went on to play college basketball for a short time. And if my son was in another country, right, and he did something as silly as that, because it was silly, and like I said on my last show, everyone is stolen. It's just that by the grace of God, you didn't get caught. But everyone is stolen. So nobody can throw a stone and be like, ooh, ah, ooh, ah.
Yeah, everybody is stolen.
So, you know, so I was just like, okay, why is he feeding into this? Is this something that maybe he needs to promote himself more? I mean, everybody knows the Ball brand now, but to me, it just brought us down. We don't fight ignorance with ignorance. We really don't. It's the worst thing to do. And Trump, to me, seems to pick some of the weakest people and put them to public shame, and he enjoys doing that. Because no matter what, he's still the president of the United States. Now, I don't agree with 99% of what he's done. But I will say, referencing, like I said, if my son had gone over to another country and screwed up like that, and he got my son out, I'd be the first one to say, listen, I might not agree with your policies. I might not agree with your Twitter stuff. I might not agree with how you speak to people. But I do want to express gratitude for releasing my son. That's my blood. That's my seed. And that would be real talk. But, you know, some people are not like that. Some people want to be tough guys and have all of these egos and things like that. And, you know,
Are you talking about DNA?
no, I ain't talking about DNA. That's not DNA. DNA is cool, dude. Stop saying that. You're funny, Peasy. You're so funny. So yeah, it troubled me a little bit about that, and I just felt that he could have approached that totally different, and he had a platform. LeVar Ball had a platform to really take that black father image to the next level. You know, because what is he teaching his boys? You know, his son understands that he has done wrong. His son is no baby. His son is a young adult. Like I said, he's between 19 and 23. And what are you teaching your children? You know, this guy didn't have to do this. And his history with black people is not the best. Understand that, people? His history with black people, it's not the best. It really isn't. You know, there's a lot of things that happen in New York City, and Trump really, really, really bashed in the media black young men. He really did. So to me, it looked like there was a change coming. But Trump has a huge ego. He has a huge ego. And you all know what that comes from, right? I said it in the last show. It comes from low self-esteem. You know, when you need attention to move forward, and you do it by hurting people, being condescending, you know, it means that you need to make a person feel uncomfortable in your presence so that you can feel comfortable. It means that you are intimidated by minuscule things. So that's what it means with low self-esteem. You know, and then to have that bully mentality. And I just hope that something like this will never ever happen again, because it looks bad. It really does look bad for Americans. It looks bad for black athletes, because, as you know, our history, especially back in the 50s, 60s, and early 70s, you know, the black athletes, they really, really, really were one of the leaders in civil rights. You know, they really did a lot for us. You know, Bill Russell, Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You know, what's the other guys in the baseball player, the Puerto Rican player?
The one that died in the airplane crash?
Yeah, Roberto Clemente. All these dudes, man. All these dudes did stuff to make things better for us. And that's why I have a lot of respect for LeBron James, too. I mean, he does a lot for our community. And even early in his career, he had a lot of problems, intimate problems in his intimate family circle. And I'm not going to shout out, you know, who it is, but it was somebody who raised him. He had a lot of problems, but he dealt with it and he moved on. And to me, he's one of the greatest basketball players ever. Now, I was able to witness Jordan play, and I was able to witness LeBron James. Now, I'm going to say LeBron James is an all-around better player, because they're even in every aspect except for size. And I will always take bulk and size over somebody that's maybe 70 pounds lighter, because he could do more, especially in defense, and he can do more in the paint. Don't get me wrong, Jordan was like silk, but there's nothing like a rhino with light feet. And that's what, or hooves, that's basically what LeBron James is. That's what he is. He's a big old dude. I saw him years ago when the Nets were still in Jersey, and he did a drop step. He was on the baseline, and when I blinked my eyes, he had already dunked the ball. The ball had already passed through the goal and hit the ground. And I asked my son, like, what did he just do? He said, oh, he just dropped it. He faked and dunked it. I said, wow, I've never seen anybody move that fast in my life. And I had seen Jordan play. Jordan was smooth. Like, Jordan would hypnotize you and then just do incredible stuff to you. But LeBron, before you could even, you know, set up, he's already coming at you 90 miles per hour. And that's like 270 pounds, you know? 6'10". That's incredible. Just incredible. But anyway, getting back to the you know, I want to stay on this topic as much as I can. Getting back to LeVar Ball, this was a chance for him to show America the significance of the black father and the black father role. I would have done it totally different, and I'm sure you would have also. You know, I would have been gracious, and I'm not saying being a yes boy or you know, sugarcoating it, or being a, you know, I just wouldn't be that. You mean a yes nigga? Hey, don't use that term. No, I wouldn't have been that a yes and no. I wouldn't have been a yeser boy, but I would have said as articulately as I possibly could, thank you, I appreciate it, and you have proven to me that you cared about those three young individuals. And it's sad, because the last thing that I found on the news or on the internet in my research that Trump said was maybe he should have kept those boys in and got them out on his next visit. Now, you know, if you know anything about politics, the Asian visit doesn't come around a lot. So it doesn't come around on a monthly basis. So them guys would have been in there for a very long time. Very long time. You know, so we have to watch what we do as a people. We really do. We have to watch what we do. And we can't let our pride, our money, and especially for the men, our egos get in the way of being humble. You know, a child learns from a humble, God-fearing father, okay? And a child can see through the BS. A child can see through the BS. And I want to be honest about that. A child really can see through the BS. And we have to understand that we are given more platforms now ever in our history as Black Americans in this country. And we need to utilize it to the apex and to the highest level we possibly can. For instance, myself, you know, I try on every show to bring up topics and focus on things to make us better as a people. And if I ever got the chance to speak to the president, or if he ever called the radio station, I would be gracious, but I'd also be stern, but I'd be respectful, okay? I'd be respectful. And the reason why I say that is because we don't need anything to tick him off and make things worse than they are in this country. I mean, honestly, and it's, I mean, people don't like to say it, but right now, the most hated people on earth are white men. And I have a lot of different friends of color all over the United States. And we all have one common denominator. You know what I mean? If you guys know your math, one common denominator. You know, we all have been abused some way, somehow, by white males. Maybe not directly, but in our history, whether it's taking over our country, beating us out of our resources, whether it be gold, diamonds, land, whatever. And then, I mean, I'd say up to the current hip-hop music, you know, but I can't say that that's their fault, that's all them, because that's a lot of the Black American and Hispanics' fault too. Because hip-hop, we should have monopolized that. We really should have. We should have really monopolized hip-hop, and we should own every square centimeter of hip-hop. And there's a disgrace that we don't, you know, because that was something that was homegrown. You know, white boys like to use that word homegrown. Hip-hop was homegrown. Came straight out of the gutter. Came straight out of the inner city before it was the inner city. Before it was even called the inner city. I mean, for God's sakes, they got Cheerio commercials with hip-hop now, when back in the early 80s, they wouldn't even play hip-hop videos. You know, they wouldn't even play hip-hop videos. They wouldn't at all. How's that water, brother? It's good, man. Can I drink the water? This guy's something else. Peasy is something else. So Peasy, I mean, what do you think, man? How do you think about this topic, and, you know, how things have been going, and, you know, how the world's going right now, especially with our president and what just recently happened with LeVar Ball?
Oh no, man, I ain't into politics.
Well, you gotta be into politics. This is part of life. Politics is like having one of your fingers. You have 5 fingers, right? So one of your fingers has to be politics to move forward.
Oh no, LeVar Ball, whatever, man. He's just talking.
Well, yeah, he could have been talking smack, but even that, you know, there's a venue for everything. Like I could talk slang and ebonics and all of that, but there's a place and time for all of that, you know. But then if I'm in front of a camera and if I'm speaking to someone in power, you know, they might not be entertained, or they might not understand the verbiage that I'm using. So I have to use verbiage that they understand. You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
All right. Now, you guys are going to see something funny in a couple of minutes. It's a little thing that Peasy and I put together. Hopefully, we can get some visual aids going on, you know, and then we'll take it from there. And I don't know. This is pretty cool, Peasy. You know what I mean? I just hope people got the message. I hope people understand that we have so many more opportunities than our forefathers and mothers, and we need to use that to our advantage, and we need to continue to move forward as a people. And this is the best time to do it because we have a president that doesn't know how to do it. So it's like our opportunity to capitalize on that. And that's real talk, you know. It really is. It's real talk. So,
Yo, DNA, you gonna play some music?
I guess he's gonna play some music when he wants to. Some hits. So, man, woo! Them lights are hot, aren't they, Peasy?
Yeah, they pretty hot, but we doing it, man.
Good. So anyway, so just to sum everything up, the key is to remember we have opportunities. Let's use it to our advantage as a people. If you're a father and a father of color, you are a huge role model. And if you're put in front of a camera or media, do your best to articulate your feelings. Do your best to provide a message that is so potent that on the next day it's all over social media. It's everywhere. But it's productive. And that's one thing I can say about a couple of rappers. You know, the things that they would say, like Chuck D, Tupac, Common, certain things that they say, it sticks, you know. Forget about the behavior and what they do behind the scenes, but the words that they present, it's something that carries on forever. You know, it carries on like an omnipresence type thing. It carries on forever. And I just hope that I have 10% of that. Like I just hope that when I speak, and even though we joke a lot, that the message is clear that as a people, we have to continue to move forward. Because so many before us has put us on this, gave us an opportunity to be on a platform to move forward. And we'll see. All right. So we're about to put on some music in a little while.
We're going to play your favorite, the one and only. This is your favorite record, right, Peasy? This is your record, Peasy. Peasy Weezy.
I don't know.
My mic off?
Okay, you're complete. Well, still listening. No, you were saying OBS was. Well, hold on. I was thinking if we could install OBS on the G5, then the guy is working on YouTube. But unfortunately, it's because it's too late in the game to just
Hey D, my wife says she can't see anything. She said she can only see a picture.
What's happening over there?
Let me
I
tell
see
you.
full motion.
So YouTube. Tell her to go to YouTube.
No, we're on Facebook only.
Oh.
DNA, he sounds so sexy. I use Mio's puppy.
We're only on Facebook.
Okay. I didn't know. Sorry. How we do, Frank? How we doing so far?
well, it's the video's going through all right.
Okay. Did I keep you interested with the topic, or?
And Trump should be shot.
Yeah. No, you're right.
This shit is like deja vu. I swear I'm always getting you. Baby, baby.
No, don't touch.
Got a couple questions, wanna try your legs.
It's not.
Now we in this place that you really wanna ride. You know what you're going, got me like, oh my God. I know you get me just one more time. No love, you left me crying like a baby. I need another dose, get my body shaking.
I like the way the camera get totally out of frame. Why is all this wasted space right there? You sitting here monitoring this? There's a whole lot of wasted space. You got all that over there showing. Doesn't have to be shown.
First time.
If I want to take a look at it, you want to lay down and look at it. You gotta look at it.
Indeed.
A whole hour I stepped away, somebody's gonna look at it.
Good thing is always room for improvement.
I stepped away for a whole hour, somebody's gonna look at it. Half hour, stupid half hour.
Ooh, DNA, he sounds so sexy. I use me as puppy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking you again. You want to see what when you're sitting over there, you're not looking at this. I'm going to put it back as soon as I walk away. What you got to do, bro? No, just don't move back. Just not move back.
Which way?
Back like you see.
No, this is the way. This is the
Oh, this is the leg?
Yeah.
All this is a waste of space. You see that the thing behind you?
No, look at the monitor That's why.
It looks much better over here. This is the thing. This looks good. I'm supposed to go over this.
This is the way. This is
You
the
can't
way.
refresh?
But
Like, maybe the way you were is okay. It looks good over here.
I can't hear you.
Maybe the way you were is okay. It looks good right now, but
Right
it looks weird over here. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, so go back to where I
It
was.
it looks totally different. I see all that in the background. I don't know if the world sees that. That's the right there. Whatever you did right there. Oh, it is a delay. Now it looks. Lights on? See these lights, 2 lights?
Yeah.
That means you're live on Facebook. What are you saying?
Okay. I didn't say anything.
No, I'm saying.
Oh. So they could hear all that? What you was just saying about the direction and everything? So how do you, well, you can't unlive it.
You could stop the camera.
Oh, how do you do that?
You want to say?
Oh, that's okay. I could do that.
The whole purpose is to be safe.
No, but when you take a break, that's what I mean. How do you, say I want to step away and then come back, you play the music, blacken out the screen, and I come back and bring me back on.
You can do it. It's to stop broadcast. So just stop.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It would stop the entire broadcast.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Not the
okay.
radio, just that broadcast.
Okay, no. I mean, what if I need a break? How do I,
Same way you connected,
yeah.
there should be a pause button or something there to stop. I'm not sure what it's over there. It's my first time using this program ever in my life.
Yeah. But the music would still play though, right?
It's the radio tape over here. I'm doing the radio.
Okay.
You're doing Facebook.
I'm doing Facebook.
Ready to go back on?
Not yet. Yeah, I'm ready. Hold up.
2 seconds.
Go ahead, I'm ready. I'm back. What's up, everybody?
What's up, Peasy, Weezy, Teasy's in the house.
What up, everybody? Can y'all see me on the camera? I'm looking sexy.
Peasy, move out the way,
about,
man, so I can see myself, man.
I don't know about them sexy Peasy. I know you're looking Peasy, Weezy.
Two brown skin-looking brothers.
What happened? I thought you guys were black people. Now you're brown people all of a sudden?
Oh, boy.
What happened
Here
to
we
the black people?
Peasy, you didn't open up a can of worms, boy. Oh, my goodness.
Brown power! Brown power! Say it loud! I'm brown, I'm proud. No, it's black power. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud.
Are you black and you proud, Peasy?
Yeah, all of that.
Well, let's get back to the topic. I want to sum up and just say that more than ever, we are given the opportunity and we are given the stage to showcase who we are as a people. And in my opinion, LeVar Ball blew it. He had a chance to show the importance of being a black father and doing the right thing, being cordial, being respectful, and most of all, being a role model, and maybe examples for other fathers.
I didn't hear your entire conversation. I had stepped away, as you know, so I missed most of what you said. And I didn't hear Mr. Ball's, whatever he said against that idiot in the White House.
So basically, the president,
Donald Trump.
He was a huge reason why those three individuals were released.
But the father said he was not. The father thanked the president of China.
Yeah.
Wouldn't the father know and you and I wouldn't know?
I don't know about that. Because everything is political.
Are you a Republican?
Everything is political.
Peasy, are you a Republican? Answer that question, Peasy. Did you vote for Trump? Peasy, Weezy, Teasy.
I don't know what to say anymore about this DNA character.
I think Peasy voted. Ladies and gentlemen of the world, I believe Peasy, Weezy, Teasy voted for Donald Trump. I will admit, I did vote for that witch, Hillary Clinton. So I can say who I voted for. Peasy, did you vote for Donald Trump?
Living la vida loca.
No. Peasy, did you vote for Donald Trump?
No, I didn't vote for no Donald Trump.
Peasy's just trying to explain, just like I am, that when we have a stage, we don't have to counter ignorance and stupidity with ignorance and stupidity.
But that's your description of what happened. That's not, everybody didn't take that as ignorance and stupidity. That's Peasy Weezy speaking, doctor.
Well, what do you think?
Well, like I said, I didn't hear that clown sitting in the White House.
I mean, first of all, you have to be a father. That's first and foremost. You have to be a father and understand.
Excuse me, you trying to say because I'm not a father, I can't have an opinion, sir?
No, you have to be a father on an opinion on this type of situation. When you have your child in a foreign country that's incarcerated, but not incarcerated because they weren't in a prison. They were actually in a hotel, but they couldn't leave the hotel.
But I must admit, you were the first one, to my knowledge, to bring this topic to the world discussion. So I give it to the Doc and Peasy for bringing it to the world, and then other media outlets picked up on the story. So thank you very much for bringing this story to our attention, Doc and Peasy.
Well, DNA,
I don't think you have to be a father to have an opinion, but
we need to thank you for giving us this opportunity to speak to these people about this. And well, you don't have to be a father, but you have to be a role model. You have to be someone concerned about the young people, which you do all the time, DNA. So it's just that, just imagine you had 3 artists and you sent them over to Asia and they got caught shoplifting.
Well, first of all, like the last discussion you had, I think last week, I think it was.
Yeah.
They had no right to steal in America, in China, in Russia, or anywhere.
That's right.
They were totally wrong. I cannot stand a liar and a thief. The thief is the lowest of the low.
I agree. The thief is the worst because he leaves you with your misery. At least a murderer puts you out of your misery.
Well, I agree to disagree with that one. I agree that I don't like a thief. I agree I don't like a liar. The murderer thing, I don't know.
How would you have handled it, DNA? Say, like I said, let me give you the example, hypothetical example.
Yes, sir.
You have 3 artists You send them to Europe on this world tour. They stop in Asia. They get caught shoplifting, not in one store, not in two stores, not in three stores, but 4 different stores. How? And then the president happens to be over there. You're gonna say he had no influence at all? And what I'm saying is, how would you, if the president came at you and said, "Well, you didn't say thank you to me, CEO, DNA," how would you respond to that? Not ignorantly, though, right? That's what I'm trying to say.
Well,
like,
that you're describing the father, Mr. Ball, I think his name is.
Yeah,
That's the doc speaking.
Mhm.
Everyone around the world doesn't agree with that type of description of the father.
a lot of people do. It's
Okay.
all over the media.
Do you have statistics? Like you said, you take a survey. Did you call up 90% of the world to find out what they think?
No, but I took about 6 or
How
7
many-
of my
how many-
closest friends. 6 or 7 of my closest friends that are articulate.
Did you ask
They are
me?
their
This
fathers.
is your first time asking me about it. So you didn't.
No, I didn't ask you. You got on the radio and started talking about
No,
it.
because it seems like for some reason I'm okay. For lack of a better term, I am ultra left. Meaning I'm left of left. I'm left of progressive. I'm left of liberal. So when you're talking about black people in particular, I must stand up and take a listen and then give the world my opinion. To me, you're being a little too conservative, agreeing with that moron who sits in the White House. I think he's now in Florida. I will not agree with anything that moron does.
But
nothing whatsoever.
You're misinterpreting what I said. I don't agree with him. I'm more on what LeVar Ball did. I don't care what Donald did. Donald's going to be Donald. I'm looking at LeVar Ball as a chance because, you know, black fathers get a bad rap in this country.
What was he supposed to do? What was he supposed to do? Bow down and kiss his ring?
No, he could have got on the air and said, listen, I'm not going to entertain that. I'm happy my boys are home. And if he had something to do with it, then so be it. Thank you. And that's it.
Well, that's the doc speaking. I'm sure your personalities are totally different. I should look up his zodiac sign. He's probably a person like me.
Well,
yeah.
Well, actually, he and Donald Trump have the same personalities clinically. They really do. Low self-esteem.
No, in terms of when's his birthday, you know?
No, I don't know when his birthday is.
Okay.
I don't know when his birthday
He went out there and radio.
But you're right.
No.
You're right. There are people that think that, you know, he didn't have to say that. So what? So what if you did or if you didn't? And it's true. But I'm saying that I'm not saying lay down and let people step all over you. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that you have to remember that.
Why is Peasy staring at me like that? Why are you staring at me, Peasy? Look at Peasy staring at me.
It's international. So what you do, because I've traveled all over the world, and what you do in America, oh my gosh, it's like a stamp of approval all over the world.
Wait, what do you mean
it's
by
like gospel.
What do you mean by that? I don't understand.
Okay, for instance, I'll tell you, when I was in St. Kitts, they would not play, rap music was not allowed. And then they allowed rap music that didn't have curse words. And then they stated that most rap musicians degraded women and all of this stuff. But they got this information.
You didn't have to go to St. Kitts to hear that.
No.
They say that right here in home.
No, I know. But what I'm saying.
They say that right here in the headquarters.
Yes. But what I'm saying is that it affects the image. Now you're talking about color. And it affects the image of the black man because they generalize.
When you say something, I gotta dissect every word you say because it's going out over the air and people hear what you're saying. So Malcolm said, make it plain. So please make it plain. What do you mean?
See, people don't always reason with information. They accept it, and then what happens is by communication they generalize. So they may think, and this is true, DMX has gotten arrested like 2 or 3 times in St. Kitts, had to do some jail time in St. Kitts. And I know because I did my residency out there. So it's like they look at DMX.
Jumping all over the world.
No. St. Kitts. That's what I'm saying.
No, not the world. We're talking about the father, now we're talking about DMX.
Yeah.
That's 2 different individuals.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what they promote. They promote the DMX image of us.
Who is this they? Who is this mysterious they?
The same the same media.
You mean the liberal media, according
sure,
to fake
the
news?
same, whatever jargon you want to use.
No,
That same platform is used all over the world to degrade us as black men.
but how does Mr. Ball degrade us? I don't understand.
Because he got swallowed up in Trump's ignorance.
So doesn't Trump help? What's the word? Doesn't he portray white males? If Mr. Ball is representing black males, wouldn't Donald Trump represent white boys?
You're
white
right.
men?
You're right, and you're wrong. Donald Trump does represent a lot of how a lot of white males think, but Mr. Ball doesn't, because President Obama never carried himself that way. It would have never.
So if President Obama and DNA do not carry themselves in that way being the way you talked about DMX, the way you're talking about.
No, I love DMX. Don't get me wrong now. DMX, that's he's like my top 3 rappers. It's just that that's not the only way black men are, and that's what the problem is. That is what's promoted around the world. That we're all like that, and we're not.
I'm listening. I'm just adjusting your mic.
Yeah.
Real loud in my headphones.
It is? Oh, no, we're not. You know, we're so many different facets.
And you mean to tell me the rest of the world is not smart enough to know that? No, you just mentioned DMX.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier Public Enemy.
Yes.
I'm mentioning Tupac.
Yes.
So you can see there's a variety, lack of a better word, there's a variety of black men.
Yes, but the countries only allow certain images in. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay. When they're doing their editing,
Yes,
the
yes,
news,
yes.
they'll just project to the world or to their country a certain image.
Yes.
Even though they see a positive President Obama, a positive Tupac,
Yes.
a positive Chuck D, they'll just show you the DMXs and whomever else.
It's kind of like the news in New York. They'll get the black person that is not as articulate, which is nothing wrong with that because he just expressed himself, but they'll purposely get that person to speak to kind of
represent everybody.
Yeah, and I think that's
they'll
wrong.
They'll go through 15 intelligent people. In the editing room, they'll pick that one to make us look like a bunch of buffoons and
you hit it right on the nose. And I think people like us who have the power, at least we can do all. We can bring people in that may not be as articulate but have a lot of wisdom. We can bring people in that are geniuses, and we can show the different facets of who we are as a people. But it seems like in this country, they try to keep us in a box and generalize us, and keep us in a way that we can't move forward. We can only move forward if we're all different, because we learn from each other,
Well, we're going to take a break. This is how I feel about what you're saying, and I agree with the Black Mafia with their record. I'm going to play right now. I agree with them.
Wait till y'all hear this. That was good.
See, I don't hear your what's going on? Dialogue?
Commentary, but you got it.
Sorry.
You got it, because even Frank was like, "Oh, I hate Trump." He's right, but what? Yeah. Oh. Okay.
I am what I am, so let it be known and take the fuck out of my way. My Lord bless the AK. I'm on a mission of death when I'm standing. Busting 5 caps at your door, I'll be branding. The black mob ain't taking no shorts. I'll be the one that's smoking cops in the courts. My Tech 9 is hanging suckers on my hands.
That's why they say, Frank, politics is so hard to deal with, especially when you have a dictator, And a dictator and a racist is so hard. And it makes us as a people have to work even harder. Because he's going to look every place in the world for our weakest link. And we only as strong as our weakest link.
Until that shit is
Huh? We do? Ooh. All right, I gotta wrap it up. Just want to say thank you to everybody. Want to get a chance. Let me thank everybody.
DNA calling Lady Dex. Lady Dex.
Hey Frank, I have a question. Is this also being played? It's being played on this is Facebook.
Okay, we'll work it out. What time you guys get here? Thank you.
So I want to do closing remarks and then thank Frank and everybody else. Oh, okay.
Get ready.
Okay. Remember, down in the corner is the last one when I end. Please.
Okay.
All right.
We're back down here live.
Peasy is back. Peasy is back.
On DNAradio.net, the Doc Peasy Show. Our good friend Peasy, Weezy, Peasy.
Yo, shout out to Frank, man. Shout out to
Shout out
Frank.
to Frank, the computer expert
All
down
the
there.
technology this guy's doing, we
And
really
I'm running him
appreciate you,
crazy,
Frank.
cursing him out behind the scenes. But I don't curse him, I'm running him crazy. Sorry, Frankie, thank you. Sorry, Frankie. I know I'm a hard boss, but anyway, we got to try to get things right. It's not your fault. These things just happen. Quick shout out goes out to Robin and Brenda in Co-op City. What's up to Robin and Brenda and Shoshana and Philip in Co-op City? We had a great Thanksgiving meal. One of the best Thanksgiving meals I've had in years. The food was yummy, yummy, yummy. Thank you. Robin and Brenda, Philip and Shoshana. What's up to Carol? What's up to Jay Edgar? Great Thanksgiving meal. Hello, Easy Weezy. You're on.
Yeah, shout out to the IBF. Shout out to Frank for all the hard work that he put in. This was not easy, but we did it, and it was a wonderful, wonderful thing. Shout out to DNA once again to giving us this platform to speak. I mean, I think I'm the luckiest black man in the world to be able to speak my
What, you the
mind.
brown man?
Yeah, we some brown brothers, but we black men.
Well, DNA is 1,000% black, no white, no mix, no blue, no brown, 1,000% black and beautiful.
Yeah.
Black power.
And shout out to, most of all, our listeners. And I want to give it up for the Sisterhood that's going to be here later on tonight with their show. Everybody, please tune in that's listening now. Tune in. They got funky music with a feminine spin on it. They have some great perspectives from professional black women, and it's going to be good. It always is.
We had some phone calls, so we apologize that we're still working out that system, ladies and gentlemen. But the phone call, everybody who called earlier, we're sorry we missed your call, but we love you anyway.
No problem. And we'll get them next week, and we have so many more to do. And like I said, this is the DNAradio.net, one of the best radio stations and the only radio station that's going to focus on what we need to hear.
DNAradio.net, the #1 internet radio station in the galaxy. What's up to everybody at the HBA in Harlem? What's up to everybody who came to the Toro Google seminar? What's up to Miles Williams? He's going to have a show down here soon on DNAradio.net. I gave everybody the business card, so if you're listening from the seminar, the Google seminar, what was it, yesterday? Well, no, it had to be Wednesday. What's up to everybody out there? Yes, we might play some jazz down here. We need a jazz host, we need a jazz DJ, but right now we're not playing any jazz, even though we would like to play some. Okay, let's get to 3 last songs. We have Felique, Atlas Grind, and CKO, and Stay Loud Pro. Let's start off with Felique. This isn't love.
Good night, everybody.
I can't believe that we doing this.